told that a time would come when our people would lose their way and walk away from the circle. Mother Earth shall become sick and saddened. It was told that our people would lose their memory of who they are and no longer be the caretakers of the land. But the prophecy says the seventh generation will come together to mend the sacred circle, restore the spirit of the people, and unite all nations. Now is the time of the seventh generation. Now is the time of the seventh fire, where the young will emerge to learn from the elders and rekindle the flames. We are the seventh generation.
OCO. Yes.
Peace.
You have entered another glorious 2 hours of 7th Gen Radio on WPEB 88.1 FM. The only, I would guess, non-commercial, non-profit community radio station in West Philadelphia. Yes, you listen to WPEB 88.1 FM.
Could be reached at 215-472-0881.
That's right.
We need all callers and all listeners.
Yes.
If you're online with
if you're online, you can go to actually livestream.com and type in our name, 7TH Generation Radio, 7TH Generation Radio, or actually you can go to Google, you can go to Yahoo,
any search engine,
and type it up. And actually, we were just approved through Livestream to have our show listed. So this is a tremendous step for 7th Gen Radio.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is.
And if you don't know, of course, 7th Gen Radio is the only urban American Indian radio show broadcasted live in Philadelphia and in the Delaware Valley. There is no other show like our show. So that means you're listening to a special show.
One of a kind.
One of a kind. Yes. My name's Brother L. Got Brother
Latif.
And we have Brother Rome sitting in the studio today with us again.
Enjoying this company again of important dialogue, uplifting, empowering as usual.
Yes. Yes. Waking up fallen humanity.
That's right.
That's our thing. Go ahead, Latif.
This week we were supposed to have our brother Joel Patrol,
yes,
who was developing a community patrolman service that would be funded directly by the community for the community. Unfortunately, we will have to have Brother Joel next week.
Yes.
So, for our listeners, the two wonderful women I spoke to today who work for the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority.
Okay.
And we actually found out a jewel on SEPTA today, which enlightened both of these sisters, who were beautiful sisters, both with indigenous roots, one in Texas and the other in Florida and Georgia.
Yes.
So to you sisters and to the listeners that you probably have listening with you this evening, we will have that next week. But stay tuned, because we will have some still some interesting news for you, as we talked about earlier.
Yes.
So,
and also today's show, and mostly every show that we have is very engaging, very knowledge breaking. We're going to be breaking atoms on this show. I'm glad that you brothers were able to come in today to do this set.
It's my duty, as I told you.
Brother,
it's
look,
my duty.
It is what it is, brother.
Oasis of the week.
Yes.
Duly tiled to stand forward and perpendicular to the square.
Yeah. Yes, brother. Yeah. So we're gonna approach this with the hammer, and we're gonna break the knotty parts of the mental psyche of our people who have been scattered as far as their minds have been scattered throughout the universes.
That's right.
So we're going to bring it home. We're going to bring it back home. We're going to make you think. We're going to make you go on the internet and research till 4 in the morning on what we just talked about today on the show.
And accept your identity as it deals with your ancestry, and not as other people would have just, kind of put it on you.
Right.
Because it's important for us as people to think, become industrious, and work for our posterity, if you will.
True indeed. Going through a lot of issues today.
Okay.
Also wanted to let everybody know we're having a powwow down on 48th and Lancaster Avenue. Right across the street from the gas station, right across the street from Sister Claire Muhammad, and right across the street from the cemetery. That's 48th and Lancaster Avenue. We want everybody to come out to check it out. If you've never been to a powwow, come down to this powwow. It's going to be, again, this Saturday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's this Saturday, 48th and Lancaster Avenue, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. And if you've never been to a powwow, you're going to be amazed. You're going to be amazed by the people who you see, because the people who you see is not going to be Tonto. You're not going to see Tonto there. I'm going to try to tell you. Okay, you might be shocked when you get there.
Right.
If you're looking for Tonto, Tonto's not there. No.
You might see some reflections of yourself.
You might see, yes, true indeed.
And, Philly is one of the best kept secrets of indigenous people who have not opened up their Pandora's box, because there's a lot of history here, heritage here, that has yet to be opened.
Yes.
So slowly but surely we will open this box.
Yes.
Because it's your box. It's not a Pandora's box of someone else's engaging history or usage of our own history. This is your history. So just be aware of it. So when you do bear witness to it, you can accept it and embrace it.
Yes. And again, that's this Saturday coming at 48th and Lancaster Avenue from the hours of 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. So bring your children. And
definitely.
Bring your camera, bring your video, because this is something that you will never forget.
You got to have the bridges there to your future and the bridges to your past.
Right. Started with a little news. I went through this article a couple of days ago. This was in Indian Country Today. You can go to IndianCountryToday.com. Get this article. It's written by Robert Coulter. And Obama make a fresh commitment to indigenous people. Now that's the title of the article. Okay. When President Obama meets with Indian and Alaska Native leaders November 5th, he should announce that he will embrace the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples and work to adopt an American Declaration on the Human Rights of Native Nations. As a starting point for improving the situation of Native nations, this country needs to affirm the fundamental rights of Native nations and individuals. It is a disgrace that the United States has not done so. The U.S. was one of just 4 countries to vote against the UN Declaration 2 years ago, and the United States still is following the Bush administration orders not to negotiate on the American Declaration that is nearing completion in the OAS. And the OAS headquarters is in Brasilia. And they also meet at the UN in New York. Without a clear public commitment to respect fundamental rights, there is not likely to be any substantial change in the federal government's continuing discriminatory and unjust treatment of Indian and Alaskan Native nations. Without such a commitment to human rights, including treaty rights and federal constitutional rights, federal programs will be little more than temporary measures that can never overcome the economic hardship and deprivation that Native peoples endure. If there were a federal commitment to fundamental justice, Native nations could have a fair chance of overcoming the generations of federal mistreatment and mismanagement. The White House should make the commitment and reverse the Bush policy of rejecting all measures for indigenous peoples' human rights.